Imagine this. Imagine you booked yourself a therapy session. Imagine you told your therapist something like, lately I've been feeling a little off, been feeling a little lazy. I've been kind of getting these depressing thoughts going on in my head. And then imagine your therapist telling you this. Hey man, it's okay. Life's rough. I think you probably just need to go a little bit more easier on yourself. And then as soon as he tells you that, imagine the room starts shaking. Pictures are falling off the walls, books are falling from the shelves, and then all of a sudden you start hearing these giant footsteps approaching the room. Everything goes silent. And then kaboom! Drexler busts through the room. For those of you that are new, I'm Drexler. And then the first thing I do is I walk over to that therapist and I just knock him out in the name of Jesus. We won't go that extreme, we'll keep it PG. So maybe I'll walk over to him, I'll flick him in his nose, or I get him in a headlock and give him a noogie or something. But then after that, I look over at you, I lend my hand out and I say, hey, don't listen to this knucklehead. Come with me, my brother. And then I pick you up off that couch, we head straight to the gym, and we get some gains, baby. Now look, I ain't here to throw no shade at any therapist or anything like that. I'm sure there's some great therapists out there. I'm just coming up with a silly scenario. I had a friend growing up who kind of did something similar for me. I was addicted to junk food, video games. I would spend like 2 to 3 hours every single day on Facebook. And now I'm like, what was there even to do on Facebook? Facebook's boring.
I'm not. I am not a lizard.
I'd be up till like 3 or 4 a.m. every single night watching prawn, and I'd spend all these just countless hours just spilling my seed to these images and videos to the point where my penis was like sore and just throbbing the next day. I don't mean to be so vulgar, but that's just how low things got for me. Meanwhile, I had this girl who I was just kind of in love with ever since like the 4th grade, and I would see her about once or twice a week at her work, and I just never even had the balls to go up and ask her out because I felt so low, so dark, so ashamed. And so my friend, his name was Roger, he started taking me to the gym every single day. He got me on a good diet. He showed me hands-on how to talk to women, how to introduce yourself, and he showed me this whole new world. And so that's basically my goal here today, is to kind of like be that Roger for you. So today I'm going to take you through 5 key steps that was taught to me that helped me become more mentally tougher. Kicking it off with number 1, we have never go easy on yourself. Now I know this sounds a little cliche, but hey, this right here is the foundation. See, most therapists are going to tell you just to relax, take it easy, you need to have a healthy balance, right? But no, hey, check it out. The more you avoid struggle, the more of a struggle your life becomes. The problem with this advice is that most people tend to take this method of just, going easy on yourself, and they'll use this as an excuse to just fall back into their destructive, lazy habits, immersing themselves into even more pleasure because the doctor told me to take it easy, right? And see, that's the thing right there. Maybe therapists need to clarify this, but taking it easy does not mean just immersing yourself into entertainment every single night. Those 2 things right there, taking it easy on yourself and immersing yourself into entertainment and all your addictions, those are 2 different things. You don't fight frustration and depression with comfort and addiction. That's not the antidote. You gotta wage war against it. You got to conquer it. In my opinion, the only time that a man should relax is when he first gave 110% of himself and he went all in. He immersed himself into hard work and discipline. And because he needs to do it again tomorrow and he needs to rejuvenate, okay, then he relaxes. Then he goes to sleep, gets a peaceful night of rest. Or maybe he hit like a mental barrier during the day, so he needs to take a little 15-minute power nap, okay? And then he's back at it, ready to attack the day. See, for some reason, the world likes to coddle people who are frustrated and say, oh, you're probably just depressed, so here's some medication. This will make you feel better. And I know this is gonna get a whole bunch of dislikes. I'm really putting my head on the chopping block here, but hey, in most cases, with most people, not all people, but most people who have depression, it's because they've done the necessary things, they've taken the necessary steps that have allowed them to be depressed. See, hey, look, my dude, happiness is earned, but not in like the way that you think it is. Like, okay, well, once I do this, and that first, and then I get this success, once I get that achievement, get that reward, get that girl, okay, then now I'll be happy. I don't mean it like that. Happiness comes not necessarily from the end result. It comes from the process, the journey. You putting in that work, giving 100% of yourself every single day. See, your brain's gonna give you what it thinks you deserve. If you're spending every waking moment of the day just scrolling and scrolling, watching dumb, stupid prank videos, all these useless things, all these perverted things, your brain's then gonna say to you, okay, well, here's a little anxiety for you, here's a little depression for you. But if you're actually putting in the work instead, then your brain's gonna say, oh, okay, cool. Well then, here's some happy endorphins for you. Here, this will make you feel better, right? It'll literally reward you by releasing these chemicals that make you happy and motivate you to do it all over again. I was talking with my bro Ty yesterday and how the last 7 months, because I've been so focused on YouTube and just building this channel up, that I've actually been kind of slacking on the gym. And therefore, lately I've been just kind of like insecure. Like a lot of you guys have even been telling me, Dre, you look so skinny lately and all this and that. But honestly, hey, I deserve that. Just being real, that's the information that I was providing my brain with. When my brain was saying, hey Dre, you need to go work out, I was responding by saying, no, I'm not gonna be working out. Neither am I gonna hit my protein goals every single day right now. My attention and my focus is gonna be elsewhere. Therefore, my brain said, okay, that's cool. Well, here's a little insecurity for you. See how that feels. So hey, look, a word of encouragement, not just to you, but even to myself. Hey, we can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. If you've watched this video up until this point right now, you now have the knowledge, so you can't go back, my brother. If you do, that's about as stupid as a drug dealer getting mugged, going to the police saying, officer, someone stole all my drugs. Will you help me find them and arrest them?
Sussy baka.
All right, now moving on. So this is where things are gonna get good. Let's hone in right here. Let's get focused. Number 2. Find a new fridge. Now, hey, look, listen. If we're being honest here, social media, all these apps on our phone, it's doing nothing but draining us of our mental fortitude, right? And you gotta ask yourself, when you've spent a good hour, a good 2 hours on TikTok, how do you feel? Do you get up off your lazy ass, off your couch and be like, I feel so refreshed now? I'm sure you don't, right? See, social media was designed to starve us and then keep us coming back for more by laying out these little breadcrumbs. See, social media, it's like an empty fridge. You open that sucker up and there it is, those little breadcrumbs lying around. And what we need to do is shut that refrigerator door. That thing's empty. There ain't nothing in it besides little breadcrumbs. And let's go to a new refrigerator. One that has fruit, meat, nutrition. Think about this, dude. Why do you think these apps like Instagram, why do you think they call it the feed? Because people keep going back time and time again, feeding on all these little breadcrumbs, thinking that this is gonna satisfy their cravings. And so now you gotta think about this too, my brother. What are some things, and I'm not just talking about social media here, I'm talking about all aspects. What are some things in your life that are causing you to spend? And I don't mean spend money, I'm talking about spend time, spend mental headspace. What are some things that are causing you to exert all this mental energy just for a couple little breadcrumbs in return? Really think about it, bro. It could be social media, it could be prawn, it could be entertainment, video games, it could be a toxic person, a toxic relationship. Who do you keep going back to time and time again just for a couple little breadcrumbs in return, making you feel drained? Which now leads me into number 3. Stop slaving away. These days, we've become like modern day slaves, constantly bowing down to the enemy without even realizing it. And then we sit here wondering why we feel so low, so weak, so sad, so depressed, why we lack this mental toughness. And this actually kind of reminds me of the story of the Israelites when Moses freed all the slaves and took them out of Egypt. When they headed off and they were on their way to the promised land, there came a point where all the Israelites, they actually started complaining, they started grumbling because the journey, it was just way too hard. They were tired, hungry, and there came a point where they actually wanted to go back to Egypt. They wanted to go back into slavery. And ultimately, this is why their journey, what should have took only 11 days, took 40 years. Because they kept grumbling, they were whining, complaining, they weren't cooperating, they were sinning, disobeying God. And I know that's a whole nother story, a whole nother message in itself right there. Stop complaining, stop feeling bad for yourself, and just trust God and your mission. Your journey will go a lot more smoother. But anyways, the moral of this story is the journey to the promised land, hey, it takes work, bro. It ain't gonna be easy. You gotta be willing to go through some dry land, some dry seasons. And hey, look, I'm not saying that all social media is bad, is evil. Maybe I am saying that, yeah, maybe it is kind of all bad and evil, but listen, what you gotta do is you at least just gotta be aware. Be aware of the sources that you are constantly feeding from. We settle for slavery when God wants to give us freedom. We settle for all these instant gratifications because it feels good in the moment and it's real nice and easy, but in the end, it leaves us empty. It leaves us starving, wanting more. And I know this truth, it hurts, bro. It's not something that we want to hear, but hey, I heard this the other day from Stephen Furtick. The truth is an acquired taste. When you've been eating lies your whole entire life, it's hard to get used to the truth. It takes time. It takes duration. Number 4, be aware of your rabble. Now, what I mean by that is this. So, first off, if you're just one of those like little weasel guys that come into my channel and just click from chapter to chapter real quick and just to see what the tip is and then just bounce, you're probably not even gonna know what the heck I'm talking about. So you have one of two options right now. You can just click onto someone else's channel, or you can go back and actually invest the time into what I'm actually saying right now. Because I can guarantee you, if you actually listen, it's gonna have a major impact on your life. So hey, look, be aware of your rabble. You can become a new man with a new intent, right? But you gotta be aware that those cravings, those past addictions and things that you dealt with, some of those things are gonna continue to cling to you, and you gotta be aware of that, and you gotta fight through it. You can't just snap your fingers and think that you're gonna arrive at the promised land. This is what happens with 99% of men. They start off strong, but then they end defeated. They start off with all this hype, but then lose momentum. Because much like the little noodle guys who come on here and go down to the summary guide and see what the quick little tips are, thinking that their life is just drastically gonna change overnight because they read those top 5 tips. These type of guys are always just trying to cheat the system, bro. They're always just trying to find a little shortcut, a little hack. They think if they just snap their fingers, all of a sudden they're gonna have bulging biceps and a ripped body. They think if they just snap their fingers, all of a sudden they're gonna have a super hot and submissive wife. So hey, what is your rabble? It says in the word that when the Israelites took off at Egypt, that they took off in a hurry, right? And so when they left, it wasn't just the Israelites that left. There was actually a few Egyptians that went along with them. And those Egyptians, that right there, that's your rabble. When you leave Egypt, not all of Egypt is going to leave you. Meaning when you decide to leave your old ways, not all of your old ways are gonna just so easily leave you. The doubts, the addictions, the fears, the bad habits, those things take time to fade away. But you can't just run back to Egypt like all the Israelites were wanting to do. And the last one, number 5, make sacrifice your superpower. Now, when you watch all these like Marvel movies and stuff like that, anytime like the guy first gets his powers or something like that, like he doesn't really know how to use them, right? Or like he kind of sucks and he's got to build up his experience. He's got to practice whatever kind of mutant superpower that he has, right? And as the movie progresses, he gets better and better and he knows how to use that superpower in the most effective way possible. It's the same thing with sacrifice. Make sacrifice your superpower. It's like a skill. The more you keep sacrificing, the more you're going to be better at sacrificing day in and day out. The more better you're going to be at carrying your cross daily. And as you continue to sacrifice year after year after year, what happens? You start seeing results, right? And then that's what puts you in that motivation loop. When you keep building up that sacrifice skill, when you keep enhancing that power, then you start seeing the results. All of a sudden, you're in this motivation loop. You motivate yourself to go out and continue this because this feeling, it just feels so good. When you're doing what you need to do day in and day out and those results are just showing for themselves, people are then going to start coming to you being like, hey, how do you get like that? How can I be like that? How do I become so mentally tough like you? And then that's when you, with a little smirk on your face, you look at them, you lend your hand out and you say, come with me, my brother. And then you guys head straight to the gym and get those gains. So with that said, my brother, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a nice big thumbs up. I don't know if you can give it. If you can give it a peace sign, that's cool too. But hey, thumbs up if you dug it. Hit the notifications button to be informed when I drop a new video. I'm jacking this up, bro. Anyways, check out this video right here. It's a powerful one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace always.